Hi, we're live with GalaxyCon Live. Thank you for joining us tonight. In the corner, you see Leva Bates waving in place of Dana Snyder, who may or may not be joining us at some point in time tonight. Leva as a professional wrestler, Blue Pants on WWE, the librarian on AEW, and video games, nerd, all sorts of stuff, right? Well, I mean, you are using your Twitch setup. And down below, our guest, Brian O'Halloran, who he is. I don't know why you're watching, other than to hang out with us. Hi, Brian.
Hi, How's it going? For reminders, those were some of the films. There you go.
Yes, Brian.
That's smart.
Dante Hicks in Clerks. He's many other Hickses.
Right. And the new one right now, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. You can get it free now, streaming on Amazon Prime. So,
is it on Prime?
Yeah, it's on Prime. It started on Prime last Tuesday.
Oh wow! Okay,
just in time.
I know what I'm doing later.
Just in time for the end of the world.
Yeah.
Leva, have you seen it yet?
No, I didn't know it was out, so I will definitely go. I missed almost all the appearances because I was in different parts of the country every time they were near. So we were doing this.
Well, now you can from the privacy of your own home.
There you go.
And you can, hold on the parts with Brian.
That's right.
And look lovingly. So the story of this podcast is we talk about people's convention experiences, first conventions, cool convention experiences. So, Brian, what was the first ever convention you went to?
I would have to say years ago when Kevin first bought that comic book shop in Red Bank and then changed the name to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, and then we worked on the cartoon and things like that. He would be selling T-shirts and stuff like that. And eventually, once he got a whole bunch of merchandise, which usually exploded around 2000 with the cartoon series, he then started renting booths at various Wizards Worlds as a vendor. And so Walt Flanagan and Brian Johnson and Mike Zabsig and those guys would set up the booth. And so then he would ask me to just come down and make appearances there to sign things like the Dante Hicks in action figures and stuff like that. So I guess the first one would have been Wizard World Philly, but literally like Kevin just said, hey, come down, sign some stuff, and I'll take care of you kind of thing. So that was the first time, but an actual like booked guest where I had my own booth. That was probably 2008 or 2009 Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I had a film called Blue Massacre.
It had to have been 2008 because you were with me in May of 2008.
Okay, so so then it was 2008 for a movie that I did called Brutal Massacre, which is a hilarious. It's a really hilarious movie about the making of a very, very bad horror film. So it's something that I think people would really enjoy. I don't know if it's on any of the streaming networks, but if you see it, it's this one right here, Brutal Massacre comedy. Myself, David Naughton, Jerry Bednob, Ellen Sandwich, Ken Faree, the late Gunnar Hansen, and a whole bunch of people from Evil Dead and a whole bunch of other movies. It's a really funny fake documentary about the making of a horror film. So if you get a chance, catch that. So that's the movie that actually got me out on the convention road, so to speak.
Cool. My producer Sandy just reminded me we're having a contest tonight.
Oh, right on.
So here's the deal. Anybody who's watching, listening, whatever, share this on social media, share this on Facebook, and we're going to enter you to win a $50 gift card.
No, it's a credit.
Credit. Sorry, gift card. I'm thinking like old, 1980s, technology. You're going to get a $50 credit for our merch store online. So on our Shopify store. So we have autographs, we have pop figures, we have T-shirts, we have all sorts of goodies. So share this and this live stream, and then you'll be entered to. Casey's gonna put everybody in a
before 7:30
in a randomizer. You have until 7:30. 7:30. Here comes Sandy.
Okay, sometimes you need some help. So share the live post. You have to share it publicly to your friends. If you share it just to your friends, then it's not going to be, we can't see it. You got to share it to the public. If you do that, then we can see it and you'll be entered. And then Casey's at home and she's writing everybody down. And then so she will put it in a randomizer and pick a winner. So before 7:30, thank you. So before 7:30, share it. And then she's going to process it in the 5-10 minutes after that. And then we'll announce the winner on the stream. And then also message you on Facebook.
Right on. Hey, Andy in the chat. Thank you for being so nice as well. Crystal, thank you for posting up where people can pick it up on Amazon. A lot of people are blown up on the chat rooms now.
Yes. So, Leah, what's the first show you ever did? Where'd you start? And Travis wants to know.
I think as a fan was MegaCon because I just moved to Orlando. I want to say that might have been the first one. But besides that, I think yours. I think you were the first person to bring me in. So, and that was through wrestling.
No, I think you had that was like at a little tiny thing we did in a police athletic league where you had a table and you were selling your little comics you did.
I did. They were stick figure comics. The Adventures of Leva.
Yes. Do you still make Leva, or is that in the past?
No, I don't have time to make that. It was me and one of my best friends, Lee Ponton, who also does like the Geek Soapbox and stuff with me. We're always doing weird little adventures together. He was the one that was doing more of the comics, and I just did my own like sub one. But I was also in his comic as well. He doesn't make it either because he got a bump in job and raise and all that, so he got a little bit busy. So no more comics. But yeah, we actually got published by Kablam, I want to say, for like 1 or 2 issues. So that's kind of cool. I'm published for like a second. But yeah, we were selling, and the ones we were selling were before the publishing. We just made it ourselves. We legit printed out.
I remember that black and white thing.
Pulled it together, folded it. Here we go.
Brian, are there any comics of you yet?
Is there any what?
Comics of you?
Comics of me? Oh yeah, there was been a bunch of comics from the Clerks series that came out. We had some really great people who put out some really incredible comics. God, there's the cartoon comic. Let me see if I can find it here.
I actually have some I just looked at yesterday because I was packing and I found a bunch of my comics, and legit some of the Clerks ones were on top. So it's very funny, because Kevin was so far into the comic world. Like this was the Christmas special comic that they did of Clerks. And then there was others as well, and we had some really great artists work on it, and some really great writers. I know that they did like 2 or 3 or 4 different issues. I know Kevin did a book of different comics as well. Also, there's a new comic out now called Donnybrook. That's about a hockey league, and I become the owner of the New York team, the Hell's Kitchen Heathens, and that's a great comic that I've been a part of. And also, there's a comic called what was it called again? It's called Tales from the Curio Shop, where my character plays a curio shop owner, and there's 6 different teams of artists, writers, and inkers telling 6 different stories in this anthology. That's out now as well. You can look it up on Tales from the Curio Shop. I don't think it's a .com, but if you just Google that, it'll bring you to the promoters and the printers as well, the publishers.
So it's got to be weird to have action figures of you, comics of you.
It's definitely cool. I mean, I still have a goal of getting a Star Wars action figure of some sort. I'd love to be part of the Star Wars canon of some sort. Maybe the Mandalorian there, Favreau. Huh? I don't know. Put me in makeup. I don't care. Let me be in the Mandalorian as something. Maybe a weird supply store clerk on some weird planet.
Yeah.
You
I don't care. I will pander.
You got to talk to Dana because he got the role as Grabala the Hutt on the Lego Star Wars. So now he's in the Star Wars universe. I mean, it's really extended Star Wars universe.
Right.
But I mean, look, they got to be able to find you a spot on the Mandalorian. You know, running like a quick stop on some planet in the middle.
Come on.
Got to get baby formula for Baby Yoda.
Yeah, maybe I'm the only one that has the proper blue juice that he loves to drink.
Come on, Dave Filoni.
I do have like a 3-degree separation of Jon Favreau to give him a call directly, but I'm not like that. But if you're watching, John, just saying.
You know, everybody, if you want to just tweet at John and just let him know.
True, and I'm a Mets fan, John, just like you.
I feel bad for you.
I know. Well, look, all sports is done right now, and we were just about to get into the hockey playoffs, and then boom. But you know, there are bigger things we have to tackle. Completely understand that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's weird. I never thought how much time I dedicate to sports in a week. When I'm just like, you know, when I would reach for checking scores or when are we playing next on the phone and being like, oh right, like there's not even training going on, you know. So it's weird.
Ooh, what's your hockey team?
Hockey team, New York Rangers. Been a Ranger fan since I was like 7, 6 even, you know.
It fits Mets, Rangers.
Yeah, so it's Jets, Mets, Rangers. And I haven't had a basketball team in probably 4 years because the Knicks have been self-isolating for probably that long themselves because they can't win a game.
Look, I think the Nets, you know.
No, you know what? I'm thinking about switching over to the Nets. I just can't. You know, if I was to switch, to be honest with you, it would probably be the Celtics because, you know, I'm Irish, perhaps. I mean, that would be the closest thing. I mean, I was around when the Larry Bird kind of craze was going on, and I enjoyed him. So,
all right, I don't really know a lot about sports. Why not the Nets? Like, what is it about the other team that's so like?
I don't know. It's just that, you know, everybody who, when I grew up, who liked the Nets, they were just weird. I don't know. It was just, you know, like because the Nets were just like, they played in Jersey for most of their existence, although now they're back in Brooklyn. They've been back in Brooklyn for about, I think, 4 or 5 years now. But it's just, you know, I don't know.
Like you used to have to, when I lived in New York and we'd go to see the Nets, we used to get free tickets. And even with free tickets, you didn't want to go because you had to go. It was like an hour to take a bus.
Right.
Get to a Nets game in the middle of nowhere. And
right.
There and in this arena that was 75% empty, watching a team that never won.
Right. You know, it's like, look, if you're living in LA and you're going to do the Clippers or you're going to do, you know, the Lakers, come on.
Okay. Why do some cities have 2 teams? Why 2 teams for some cities? Like,
well, I mean,
LA, New York.
It's every large, for most of the part, every large cities, it's really just LA and New York who are the ones who need 2 teams. Every other city has just 1 team in sports, but LA, for some reason, I mean, God, New York State has 3 football teams, and so does California. So, you know, it's just population-wise.
So we have Josh Martin is in the comments saying hi to everybody.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Josh from Dragon Ball Z, who was on last night with Chris Rager. Hi, Josh. That's a picture of Josh with the tie and everything. How come you never dressed like that for us? And Matthew has shared Jon Favreau's Twitter with us. So,
well, look, I'm not going to reach out to him because that's a little tangent. But if a whole bunch of fan base want to do some sort of internet push of getting O'Halloran in The Mandalorian, by all means, get it up.
And if you can get, you know, Leva, you know, you're looking for a role in Star Wars, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Kick-ass.
I mean, I already got crazy hair.
Be a bounty hunter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You beat up men in the ring.
I mean, yeah. I'll meet up men, women, baby
so,
Yoda.
Gina Carano, who's in The Mandalorian, as Kara, I worked with her on the Jason Mewes' movie that he directed called Madness and the Method, and she's kick-ass. So she's amazing. She does her own stunts and everything. So Levi, you easily could do your own stunts and be some sort of kick-ass bounty hunter in that world.
I mean, I do have stunt training and I also have wrestling training, so I'm ready. Let's do this. I'll take a blaster to the face. Let's do it. Oh, that sounds really bad. That sounds really bad.
Take a blaster to the face. Genius.
So, yeah, well, Leva, you gonna go on hiding now? So, Brian, have you seen Leva on AEW recently?
Have I seen her on AEW? Yes, I have.
Oh.
It's really, to be honest with you, it's really, really, really so weird. Because I was talking to Diane, my girlfriend, last night about just general things, and Leva came up, and because you had contacted me through Instagram saying, "Hey, look what I found in moving. You're in the process of moving. You found the framed poster that I signed for you of Clerks." And so I showed that to Diane. I said, "By the way, because my girlfriend is the same height as you," I said, "she has the same kind of build as you, Diane," and blah blah blah. And I was showing Diane your Instagram and stuff. And she's like, "Oh my God, she is kind of exactly." I'm like, I know. She has like that gymnast kind of body, kind of like you, and blah, blah, blah. And then today, Dana Snyder has an issue of being on immediately. Hopefully we'll get him here within the next couple of minutes. But they said you were jumping on as well. And I said to Diana, "Oh my God, we were just talking about Leva last night. Look, she's coming on tonight to be one of the guests." So it's small world.
While you're talking, my cat joined us for a second. Now he's sitting on my notes and on my pen. So decided that he's, I got to fly solo here. Great tweak.
Well, I'm surprised. I have 4 cats, and they're all upstairs because when I set up what was going on, it's near one of the cat beds, and she was just like, "Oh, I ain't having any of this," and she took off. So because I have a big setup going on here because I'm going to be playing with you guys a little bit later. But it's that type of a thing where I'm surprised one of them hasn't come up to me like, "Hey, where are you? I usually sit in your lap."
Looking for mine. She's probably in bed.
So I see a bunch of stuff behind you. I see some Clerks art. I see some comic book stuff. What do we got back there?
All right. So a lot of it is just some of the great comics of our time. So I like to have a bunch of those. My prized possession is that we see above there. I hosted at another convention that eventually went broke. I hosted the celebrity roast of Stan Lee, and then underneath that is so the poster is signed of everybody who was on the dais, and then the dais photo of all of us on the dais is up there as well, and then there's some independent comic book artist stuff. Then a whole bunch of Clerks kind of artwork there, and some like Zombie Dante and stuff like that. And I'm a big Watchmen fan, and that's a Rorschach. And then Metropolitan is there, and Batman, and then over here I have my Lord of the Rings, because yes, I am a Lord of the Rings fan. I don't care what Randall says. So I got the map I actually got when I did a convention in New Zealand. They took us down to Malamala to the farm where Hobbiton is. So I bought the map of the Middle Earth in Hobbiton, and then there's a whole bunch. Then all the movie posters are lined all around it, and then that was a funny Sauron versus Gandalf kind of fight card poster is right there. That was, I think, from the Chive, and then just the all great classic. The first Spider-Man appearance, the first Batman appearance, the first Avengers, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Captain America, and then this great piece where it looks like all the superheroes are sitting on the girder in New York City having their lunch. I thought it was hilarious. Luke Cage, some Black Panther art that was I bid on during a drink and draw, and a few other things. I'm a big fan of buying the art from drink and draws. I think most of the time that artwork goes to charities, and I've been very fortunate to know some incredible artists over the years to bid on their stuff. A lot of them are like, "Oh, let me just give you." I'm like, no, we're all artists. We want to make sure you get paid, and so I'm a big supporter of. Everybody's art should be paid for in some way or some form, or at least advertising of some.
So what's your favorite character? What's your favorite superhero? Or comic? Or comic character, comic.
I always want to say Batman, only because yes, the money gave him the means of which he could create all these things, but in the end, he's a regular man. He doesn't have natural superhero powers, but it's through his skill and training and getting things done. It's always been great. Iron Man the same way, that kind of thing. Innate kind of bitten by a spider or fallen into gamma ray kind of experiment. Always finds kind of odd. I always think it's normal people who do incredible things are superheroes. That's why I think first responders, soldiers, people who are right now nurses and doctors, and people who are taking care of us in a world pandemic and crisis. These people are superheroes. And so superheroes who are based on just regular people doing extraordinary things, I always kind of gravitate towards.
What about you, Leva?
It's a very similar answer. A lot of times, like, I find myself being drawn more into the world of Batman and its villains. I'm a big proponent. Growing up, Catwoman was my all-time favorite. Like, for the longest time, I was obsessed with Michelle Pfeiffer. I knew every word of Batman Returns. I made my own Catwoman suit with like the gloves and everything, how she did. But then as I got a little bit older, I found out I was a little bit more like Harley Quinn.
Nice.
So I'm a mixture. I like a lot of humor with badassery, so I tend to find myself drawn more to like a Deadpool, Spider-Man. I like quips, obviously. That's kind of the whole Harley thing. Though for me, I'm such like a hipster nerd that I'm like, everyone loves Harley, so now I can't like Harley. I'm like, oh, of course, everyone loves Harley. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I mean, when I worked at a comic book store, I love like more of the not lower tier, but like the lesser known books that ended up becoming a little bit bigger. Like I love like Runaways and like Thunderbolts and those guys. So
Leva, for the people who don't know, your street cred is that you did work in a comic book store for years.
Yeah.
And, you were the queen of the Orlando Nerds for a while, right?
A little. Well, I don't know if I was queen, but yeah, I worked at a comic book store for 5 years. And
Wow.
even when it switched owners, it had a couple different owners for a little bit. So I was at the same store, but just kept changing names. So yeah, I worked there for a long time, and honestly, I only would work like a couple days a week just to pay for my own stuff. Like I'd pay for comics. I work for the comics, and the merchandise.
All right, Sandy, producer Sandy reminding me, share the contest online. Share our contest. Share the podcast on our stream. Share the live stream on social media, on our Facebook page.
Do I need to do this again?
You don't have to do this again.
I think I have to do this again.
All right, then do it.
Do it.
Share
Do
it,
it, guys.
make the post public before 7:30 Eastern time, and you'll be entered to win $50 worth of merch from us.
6 minutes.
Much credit
6
for
minutes, guys. You got this.
Minutes left.
You've got 6 minutes to do this.
$50. That's a lot of toilet paper.
Well, you could get a couple of our variant comics, and I guess use that as toilet paper.
Oh no!
True.
So, so Brian,
Yeah.
what do you want to share with us? What do you got going on over there?
What do we got going on over here? You know what? It's just stocking up. I mean, I was very fortunate enough. I saw this kind of coming 2 weeks ago. So I went out to our wholesale club and bought a bunch of stuff. So me and Diane and the cats, like we ordered from Chewy.com and got like 2 months supply worth of cats, food and stuff. And litter we get we always get a lot of litter when there's coupons at the wholesale club. So we stocked up on that. So if I run out of toilet paper, I have at least 3 litter boxes to shit in. So I'm good.
Good.
My apologies. Kids are watching. I apologize. But otherwise, I'm really good. I have enough water and stuff like that. But I live up in the northeast area of Pennsylvania. So 2 hours outside of New York City, fortunate enough that I only have about I think we have reported 3 cases of COVID up here, so we're not inundated by people in our building or anything. I have we have a house that we're separated from a lot of people, so that part of it is good. But so far so good. I mean, here I'll give you a little tour of my place here. Just since this has been going on, I'll just give you a show what's going on here. So yeah, so I'm in my bunker. So that's my bunker. We're all hunkered down.
It's a flu epidemic. Not
background. So we want to make sure we're keeping people at a distance. It's all concrete. So I'm good.
It doesn't look that comfortable down there, Brian.
Yeah. Well,
you need
it only takes a minute for me, and then I just call a friend, and I could be here, on the deck of the Enterprise. So we're good, right? We're good. We're really good here.
Can we beam the hell out of here?
Yeah. Right. So I'm in good hands right now. I'm surviving pretty good. People are out right now, and I know if you're on Steam, especially, there's a new game that's being play tested right now called Mall Brawl. Jay and Silent Bob's Mall Brawl. Also, Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch Out. So come on up there. You see over there in Mall Brawl, you see Dante Hicks just beating the hell out of people in the mall, which, I think we were all looking for toilet paper or hand sanitizer when that artist rendition was going on. So check that out. That's on Steam right now. I know Jay Muse has been twitching about it. So that's where you want to look on Steam for those games if you want to keep yourself busy.
Levi, think to play on your stream.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to be getting those soon, and I'll stream it out. That'll be a lot of fun. I'll play as Dante and punch people. It'll be great.
Are you playing Animal Crossing yet?
I am. I ended up caving into peer pressure because I feel like I went on my Switch and literally there was 10 people like on my friends list and they were all online. I'm like, oh, what are you guys playing? Animal Crossing. I'm like,
so I don't know what is Animal Crossing. What is Animal Crossing?
Basically, I don't understand why it's so popular, but it sucks you in. You build a house and you do chores around the town. Legit. You help make the store, you help make the town. You have to gather supplies, you gather food, you help create the museum, and you can go and visit other people's islands and visit their towns. And you decorate your house, you redecorate, you make stuff with the workbench. It's literally a game of chores. I don't know why, but you get sucked in, and next thing you know, 3 hours later, you've been doing nothing but picking weeds and building furniture.
So instead of really doing that around your neighborhood and your house, you are thinking you're contributing to society by virtually cleaning things up. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did a stream on Sunday, and the plan was I was going to stream for like an hour or two and then stop and then actually start packing for my move. I looked 3.5 hours later, it was almost 2:30 in the morning, and I hadn't done any of my actual packing. I just been too busy playing the game. And I was like, oh, I haven't done my real chores because I was doing the fake chores.
It's really like, to be honest with you, Ready Player One is prophetic when it comes to where we're heading as a society. We're all going to be in trailers and cars welded onto each other on top of things. As long as we're hardwired into the internet, that's all that matters.
It really is. But I had friends come over to my virtual place online, and we hung out.
We're virtually in your house right now.
Yeah, you guys are, aren't you? I've been hanging out with friends more now than I have when I'm when we're allowed to go out of our house.
You know what? I got to say that is true. I've had more friends text or call or check in on me as to how's things going than normally when, people have regular life going on, which in a weird way, that's kind of nice that it's kind of made us all really think about, hey, man, what's going on? So it's nice that people are taking the time out of their day to check in on us.
Well, they got nothing else. We all have nothing to do.
Right.
So I'll just checking in to see, like, maybe our friends have found something to do that we figured out. Like, Leva has found Animal Crossing. So now she can teach us how to adult.
But the people who are like the uber elite rich, right, who own their own like private islands, like they don't have to worry about it because it's own private island. No one gets on their island unless they want them to. So I can see the benefits of private islands, or in my case, private bunkers.
Nice. So who's
private
see? But you go on the Enterprise, you got all that recirculated air.
True.
It's like being on a cruise ship.
Yeah, which is weird because New York City is getting the Comfort, the USS Comfort medical ship. Now, when it was first announced, I was like, what? Didn't we just bring people off of a ship with this disease? And now you're putting them back on a ship? But then they said, no, the medical ship with 1,000 bed is coming into New York to relieve, heart attack victims, people who are having actual other medical situations rather than infectious COVID-19. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But in the meantime, it's in dry dock in Virginia because they're in for their bi-yearly or whatever yearly maintenance of, scraping off the barnacles and whatever you have to do to a ship to get it back up to snuff. So we're still a week away from that. So I give big shout outs to all the governors out there who are taking control in the lack of federal effort. But it's nice to see that some people still out there believe in science and believe to get things done. So so far so good. We're holding it together down here, and no one's getting into this place. I'm telling you right now.
You're safe.
One door only. Otherwise, that's it.
One way in, one way out.
And I'm up on the bridge.
See, I'm still worried about that ship, man. Like, the bunker is all right, but I'm still worried about that starship.
Come on, man. You can go to any place once you're on it. I mean, if I was more of a Doctor Who fan, I'd have the TARDIS to get to. But
go back
Doctor Who's taking care of people in England. He doesn't care about the Americans.
No.
Excuse me. She. Now it's a she.
So.
Who shot first? Han or Greedo? Greedo.
What? Yeah. No, Han.
No, Greedo.
Han shoots first.
Come on.
Han.
Greedo shot first. What are these other questions? Can we buy a private island for GalaxyCon employees? Wow, someone's disgruntled. Hey, those piece of human garbage like Dana Snyder, LOL, whatever that was about. What else do we have here? So someone's screaming on. Yes. You three are such great chemistry. Makes this so much fun to watch. Why, thank you, D. Keith. I appreciate that. The only chemistry I have going on right now is beer from New Jersey.
Brian is a craft beer guy.
Yeah, that's we are. I didn't get this gut by working out.
You have put many hours into that gut.
Yes. It's so funny. I was at your convention in Richmond, and Rooker screamed. He's literally like 12 guests away from me. He screams, "You look like Buddha!" And I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
Oh my God!
You look like Buddha, but you look like Kojak with no hair. At least I'm a divine being. All I say is, whatever. Speaking of craft beer, I'm going to top up.
It's not okay, but it's not a convention unless Rooker's yelling at somebody.
Rooker is the best at yelling at people.
I think Brian's getting another tank over there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What are we drinking now, Brian? What are we?
I'm gonna finish it off.
Okay.
These guys are really cool and getting me my magnify. For those who want to look them up, magnifybrewing.com. Magnifybrewing.com. I am not being paid by them whatsoever, nor do I. They were fortunate enough. I was fortunate enough to get someone hand me a 6-pack of that, and these guys are really cool. And actually, it's incredibly tasty. So
We have
all
a
natural.
Oh, we
It's
have.
weird because supplies are going to be running out for places, I'm sure, soon enough.
So we have a winner for our contest.
Yay!
Ari Stylinson.
Ari Stylinson is our winner.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ari. Hopefully you're still around.
I was about to say, I'm trying to see if he's on the chat here.
Well, Ari's
my friend Seth just said, Brian, next time you're in Texas, come to his brewery. He'll hook you up. He makes beer for a living.
What city?
It's Temple near Austin. It's between Austin and Dallas. So
I'm hoping the GalaxyCon folks expand to Austin because Austin's a great city.
well,
I love Austin. Austin's my favorite.
Continuing. All right, so Brian.
Yeah.
Tell me about some cool convention experiences. Like, what's some crazy stuff that's gone down that you've seen or been a part of that you
Well, I told you about, like, one of my best experiences was hosting the
roast.
The roast. So that's that part of it. Craziness, man. I rarely get involved in craziness. I mean, I enjoy my good old karaoke from time to time. That gets a little kooky from time to time. I know. God, I mean, I just love. Here's the thing: I love having dinner with other guests. Like, I was in Edmonton, Canada, for a convention up there, and Carrie Elwes and Michael Rooker and a few of us were having dinner, and Carrie Elwes begins to talk about his experience with, ghosts and the supernatural, where him and his family were in this place in France, I think it was, and he experienced some sort of ghostly encounter in this kind of castle place in France. And I told him about my one of few experiences I've had with kind of supernatural things there, and talked about when I worked at this theater called the First Avenue Playhouse. Funny enough, that's the same theater that we all auditioned for the original Clerks. Up in their costume loft, me and another actress waiting to go on to do a play, Dracula, no less, ready to go on for our scene. And we hear a noise and we look up, and the two of us look up and we see these kind of like, luminescent kind of like, Ben Kenobi and stuff like that kind of figure up above. And we're like, what the? And I look at her and she looks at me, and we had to be on stage. We heard our cue. So it wasn't until at the end of the show when we're all getting packed up where it was like, hey man, what, did you see what I thought you saw? And she's like, yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm not the only one. So Carrie was telling us about ghostly stories about that. And it's that kind of interactions. Like, people always ask me, like, what is it fun about doing these Comic-Cons? And, yes, do I get asked the same questions? Do I get thrown the same comments to me all the time? Yeah, but, that's part of the game. But it's me meeting some of these other guests that I really, like, incredibly love and enjoy. Just in Richmond, I got to say hello again to Gilbert Gottfried, who worked on the Clerks cartoon series, which was the most fun for me ever. I enjoyed working on the Clerks cartoon series so much, and he got to do the voice, funny enough, of Patrick Swayze, and Patrick Swayze and his horse Ghost. And so if anybody who's a fan of the Clerks cartoon series, and you see that episode, it's just so much fun. And it's those type of getting together of different fans that I always enjoy. And hopefully Kevin will start up the cartoon series again. I know we have a showrunner who works for ABC now, who's a bigwig at ABC, who was a fan of the cartoon series when it came out in ABC in 2000, and wants to bring it back. So hopefully by 2022 we can maybe bring back the series. If otherwise anybody wants to see it, yeah, we have 6 episodes on DVD that are always on sale and stuff like that. So
and then in a couple of years, you and Jeff could have your own CBS show.
I would love to. They attempted to do an actual sitcom of Clerks back in the day, back in '95, and produced by Don Rio, a very big producer, TV producer, and actually quite a few people. Kerry Russell played Veronica. I know Jeff Anderson was played by oh God, what's the comic's name? He's from Saturday Night Live. He plays Goat Boy. Brewer, Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer played Randall. And if anybody goes on YouTube, you can see the Clerks Warner Brothers pilot, and it was weak because it was clean, it was made for regular TV, and B, the set was something from out of like Saved by the Bell. It was like this kind of bubblegum kind of ice cream shop / convenience store. It was really weird. So hopefully, if they were ever to do it, I think that's something that we would enjoy. Maybe putting it on HBO or Showtime or maybe one of the streaming services so that we're not edited. But I know that Jeff has recently been on the road with me. We've done so far only 2 shows before this all hit, and he's thoroughly enjoyed himself. He like me lives up in the woods just outside of Bakersfield, California, up on a mountain just like I do, and he's come down off the mountain for us to go on the road and do this. And I'm really glad that he's agreed to it. And a lot of people have been hitting me up on Twitter saying like, oh my God, is it because Randall is on the road that he brought the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse with him? No, he hasn't. And we look forward, trust me, we're all looking forward to getting back on the road. We're big fans of being on the road. I know I am, only because I enjoy working with all these people and enjoy working, being on the road with people who, have done so many great things. We were ready to go on the road with all these people here. I think it's this one, right? Yeah, hey, this was the next show for us, for you, which was GalaxyCon Raleigh, which we're hoping to still do. It's me, Jay Muse, Jeff Anderson, Joey Lauren Adams, Ethan Suplee, who rarely ever does shows. I think he's only done 1 so far, and now he's jacked. He's got a podcast called American Glutton, which is awesome. We have the Chulies gum guy, Scott Schiaffo, who's awesome. Marilyn Gigliotti. Everybody who loves the original Clerks loves Marilyn Gigliotti. And myself. And hopefully we can get that. Hopefully we can get all this solved, that we can all get back on the road with this, because that's something that we enjoyed. I know I've been to Raleigh now twice already, the first year and the 3rd year. And it kind of like this virus, it grows exponentially every year. So I'm hoping things can be calmed down and we can get some sort of treatment or some sort of way of all getting us out on the road. And I am totally dominating the time, so I should.
No, it's all right. We have guys in the comments saying hello. Speaking of other guests at the show.
Hello,
Guy.
Hi, Guy.
Oh, is that Guy on there?
Yeah, Guy.
Yeah, what's up, Guy?
Yay, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. So Brian, what do you got? You want to show us your websites, all your things?
Sure. If people want to contact me, these are the best ways to do it. We got Twitter, Instagram, Brian C. O'Halloran. I just joined Twitch and Discord. Same thing, Brian C. O'Halloran on both Twitch and Discord. And then on Facebook, it is the Brian C. O'Halloran. So come out for that. If you're bored and looking for movies right now, we do have the new Jane Silent Bob reboot that is free for people who have Amazon Prime. Another thing is really great is Jay Muse directed his first feature. Madness in the Method has some really great cameos in that. We got Trejo, we got Vinnie Jones, we have Jaime Camel. It's just some really great stuff. Obviously, Kevin Smith and Jay Muse himself. Plus, Gina Carano from The Mandalorian is also in it. Otherwise, these are some of the other great movies you can watch of. Anybody wants to do the View Askew kind of marathon, that's the order to do it in. Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy Dogma, Jane Silent Bob reboot, and Clerks 2, and then obviously reboot. Otherwise, if you're looking for games to play, Jay and Silent Bob
Check out
Chronic
the GalaxyCon
Lunch. Right.
online.
Exactly. And then Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl is on Steam right now. I will currently be hanging out in my bunker. Otherwise, that's the way to do it.
All right, Eva. What about
Hey.
what do you got?
Wow, it's hard to follow that because I don't have cool slides like he does.
Well, you get Twitch TV.
I'm pretty much Wrestling Leva on everything. I'm Wrestling Leva on Instagram, Twitter. I have my own Twitch channel. I've been on there for forever. If you want to come and watch me play Animal Crossing and do chores, or pwn people in Overwatch, feel free to join me there. You can find me on AEW, on AEW Dynamite, AEW Dark, and as well as Being the Elite. All of that. That's on YouTube and TNT. So definitely check us out for that. And I'll be doing Twitch streams and hanging out online.
All right.
While I'm not doing chores.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't sing. I dance behind other people.
Right. Go-to karaoke song.
Me?
Yeah.
My warm-up is Safety Dance. The one that brings the house down is War Pigs by Black Sabbath. Otherwise, I also do Creep by Radiohead and a whole bunch of stuff. It's funny because when I'm going to be doing streams on Twitch as well, I'm thinking about doing what I'm calling COVID karaoke, which I'll pick a song and sing a couple of songs on COVID karaoke.
Leva, next time we're at a show and Brian is singing karaoke, you got to dance behind him.
Oh,
Word. Or at least put somebody in a chokehold.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
All right. Brian, Leva, thank you so much. We'll do this again.
Guys.
And we're out.
Bye, guys.
We'll thank you everybody for joining us for GalaxyCon Live. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I've got SuperKayce with me, and we're doing the all cosplay show with Danielle, DeNicola, and Emma Jupiter. Thursday, Dana's back, and we've got Richard Horvitz and Rikki Simons from Invader Zim. And Friday, Heather Kid Cadet will be with us with Dave Batista. And so that's the rest of the week. Right, Kid Cadet? We will see you tomorrow.
Check out the GalaxyCon store online. You can find items like t-shirts, signed and certified Funko Pops, magnets, keychains, and pins, exclusive comic book variants, and so much more. Make sure to check out our collectibles page, which features autographs for every fandom, from Star Trek to My Hero Academia and everything in between. So what are you waiting for? Check out GalaxyCon.myshopify.com.